This is the WatchGeekTime podcast.
Well, let me ask you this. I mean, I don't care, but would what's his name, Carl Friedrich, be upset with you, given the fact?
That's a good point.
Yeah, that's not. We don't need to ruffle.
Yeah,
All right, well, good.
let's have ruffle.
Thanks for coming back. We're back. What do you want to start with over there?
We've got a tour de force in terms of a remarkable piece from Ferdinand Batude.
Oh my goodness. Okay. So, just real quick before you dive in on that, one of my favorite watches of all time is this one of yours, and some of the details you pointed out when we had lunch a couple months back. I mean, they've thought of everything.
It is an incredible watch. The funny part about this watch is I had no intentions to get it. When I first went to go see the Bertudes, I was most interested in seeing the FB3, the one with the cylindrical hairspring.
Right.
And
Not a tourbillon.
No. And the first few just didn't fit right. The FB1s and the earlier versions didn't fit well on my wrist. And the ones with the octagonal cases.
Yeah, I know that.
I didn't understand the brand, so I finally had a meeting set up with representatives of the brand, and I went ostensibly to see the FB3. And they bring out the board with the different watches on them. And there's the FB3, and I pick it up, and I'm looking at it. It's really a beautiful watch. It's just a beautiful watch. And then I see this other watch sitting there, and I'm looking at it, and I put the FB3 down, and I pick up this other watch. And then I go back, and I pick up this watch, because this is the watch I came to go see. But then I kept going back and picking up this other watch. And I went back and forth, and Linda, my wife, just yelled at me. She said, "What are you doing?" I said, "What do you mean?" She said, "That's your watch, not that. That you cannot take your eyes off of that watch."
This is not an old kind of unicorn story between Mitch and his beautiful wife, Linda. She will basically drop the hammer and say, "Take that one," and that's it.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah. She complains about my
Your expensive, or your rather, expensive habit, but sure, what are you going to do?
She's been my partner throughout this whole adventure, and she actually
Shout out to Linda.
Yeah,
Absolute
exactly.
shout out.
Yeah.
She's upstairs.
Yeah, she is.
Yeah.
She is actually my first and main editor for the book until I moved it into the real editor. But this book, and Time on My Hands, and actually she is now helping me with the novels I'm writing. We have a whole system that works.
So here's a book. We're going to talk about it before we're done today, but Mitch is a writer, and I love that. Isn't it the most fun you've ever been?
Oh, it's great.
Because those of you who have seen the show and who know me, I'm also a writer and got a show going in February, so I'm very excited. Very excited.
Yeah.
We'll have many more discussions because we've got a whole kind of... Which, by the way, when are you leaving to visit our friends over there at Breguet? Anytime soon?
Maybe April.
Okay. Close enough. We're going to have a chat with them.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm going to... Tim,
Back to
on you. Yeah.
So, this watch is remarkable. What's interesting is on the front, it looks fairly simple. It's a beautiful, elegant Roman numerals, which I love. White enamel dial, I think it's
That checks 2 boxes.
yeah,
for-
2 or 3 parts.
Yeah.
Skeleton hands, which is kind of cool. Very chronometer looking, like an old ship's chronometer, and that's why this watch exists, because it's all about timekeeping,
Well, and also
precision timekeeping.
Some people are going to look at it and go, well, that's quartz, so please get
Right.
into that.
Exactly. So this is
Yeah.
what's called a jump second or deadbeat second.
Deadbeat. Good.
And that comes from watchmakers. Well, not it comes from clockmakers from the old ship's chronometers. We've talked about that before, where the escapement allowed for the second hand to jump because they beat very slowly with the gearing 1 time a second, so you could precisely see when it hit 12 o'clock. And that this watch shows that. But what's remarkable, other than looking cool, is the whole back. And this is one of the few watches that you just go, wow,
Yeah.
and various expletives come out of your voice or out of your mouth.
You can't. We're good.
Like,
We're not for kids.
fuck, this is,
Expletives.
yeah, it's what,
Blitz.
Yeah, like fudge.
whatever. It's fucking beautiful. But it's executed to the nth degree, and this is the beauty of what Ferdinand Batude, who the brand that's basically run by Chopard and Carl Friedrich Schuffler, has dedicated enormous amount of resources to just executing at what I think is some of the highest level watches. You agree with that?
Oh, absolutely. Just to start with, this is the FB2RE.
Got it.
Okay.
Which means
I have no idea. Ferdinand number 2, and the
So this was a second.
Remontoire Égalité.
Yeah.
there you go.
There you
Okay.
So what we're talking about around, so why this ties in with the prior watch is that, again, it's a constant force mechanism, and this can actually be seen down here at 6 o'clock. So you got your balance wheel, and by the way, you've got the mainspring barrels right here.
Those are chains.
So there's a chain and fusee,
Right.
which is difficult to see. Oh, there it is, right there. You can see it there.
And that's the conical.
Yes,
Approach.
correct. So whereas Roman had the flat cam system, this has a traditional, again, same chain, but it has the conical
A
fusee.
little more marine chronometer, like
Exactly.
a marine
Yeah,
clock.
just like a marine chronometer.
Well, that's the basis of the FB.
Yeah.
Was it a chronometer company that the Chopard name bought? Or?
No. Well,
Batude made
Bertude, the family Bertude
Uh-huh.
made marine chronometers. They made pocket watches also, but they made
highly precise.
highly precise marine chronometers. And what Carl Friedrich does is they will take one of those clocks and build a watch in honor of that clock. So this
So
FB2,
homage to the.
exactly.
Gotcha.
And so his different watches are actually, using your word, an homage to a particular clock that one of the Bertudes did. This was not from Ferdinand. I think it's his nephew. I'm thinking it's Luis, but I'm not sure.
That made the watch.
That made the
that-
clock back in the 18th century.
that inspired this watch.
Exactly.
Right.
So he
Okay.
takes something and he said, and this has the windows, and the Bertude clocks have windows, and so
On the
there's
side,
a lot
talking
of,
about
right,
right down the
exactly,
side of the case.
exactly.
Oh, wow.
So it's all in honor of, as opposed to other watch companies that take a name and say, oh, we're tied back to the 18th century. It's like, no, you're not.
Like an Arnold and Son.
I'm not mentioning any names, but
I didn't either.
Yeah.
go for it.
Okay.
But what they've done is they're not saying we are Ferdinand Bertude. What they're saying instead is we're honoring.
We're
Yes.
doing things in the tradition of,
And-
which I love.
Right.
I mean, this to me, and you know because you know,
Yeah.
this to me, and you know this too, Tim. This is the execution. I got 3 grails. This is one.
Mm-hmm.
A long range Son is another. There's a Jaja that I'm in love with, but my God,
Yeah. So,
Doc, that is smoke and a half.
Yeah.
yeah.
Remontoire, just
Yeah.
just a little discussion on Remontoire, Tim, just real quick, if you could point it out. For you musicians that I know, it's like a preamp. If you guys think of it like a preamp, like a bass player sends a lot of signal down the line, right? And if you see these barrels, They're very big. They're sending a lot of juice. There's a lot of juice going to that oscillator there. So the remontoire is almost like a preamp for you
Right.
musicians.
So what this watch has, it actually has two mechanisms for improving timekeeping. So you've got the chain and fusee to even out the power coming to the balance
That-
and the escape wheel.
That's the constant force part of it.
Well, no, that's a remontoire. Yeah, that's constant force.
Okay.
And you've also got a remontoire mechanism which happens to be down here. And this is, so you've got your balance wheel right here. The escape wheel, underneath the escape wheel, you have two wheels there. Probably difficult to see in this video, but one can go online and get this. But
And it'll be tight when I
Yeah.
got it edited. Yeah.
but there's a spring mechanism, and you've got a second, what looks like an anchor over here that's releasing this spring.
Mm.
Every minute, every second. Right?
Yeah, every second. I think is it 3 times a second. So that spring that sits underneath here, it keeps this escape wheel a tension on it, so that again it keeps that that even tension on that mechanism, because the balance wheel is the timekeeping element of a mechanical watch. This balance wheel going backwards and forwards. So anytime you can keep the power coming to it the same, which is what the chain and fusee is doing, and also the balance wheel keeping that turning at the exact same rate, that's going to improve the timekeeping element. So this is done with a rouleau triangle, which sits underneath here, which is a equilateral triangle that's slightly curved, so that as it oscillates between essentially a straight line fork, it just goes backwards and forwards, and that's what releases that spring.
So how many seconds is that remontoire charging up before it's releasing to the oscillator?
Well, there's three arms on the wheel that sits underneath, and it engages with the spring. So again, I don't know if you can see it here. It's really small.
But this is a 1 second remontoire. There are 3 second remontoires. There are remontoires that are longer.
That'll start up like the Gronefelds is like, I
Yeah.
think, an 8 or.
Right.
Okay.
So it stores
So it's like
energy.
8 seconds
and
and
then
then
boom.
it pulls up.
But this one, so that.
But this is 1-to-1 is what you're saying.
Well, so that right up here where I'm pointing to, that anchor right there is slowly going up and down, and it's going up and down
Oh my
to
goodness.
release
Uh-huh.
these three hands, which are attached to the spring. I'm not describing it from a technical standpoint, but you can go online and see it, and you can probably see a schematic on.
So it's not Swiss lever. It's a.
No, there is a lever in there.
Yeah.
There's two. So there's a traditional anchor, which I'm going to see if I can point to. There's a traditional anchor down here underneath. But what this also looks like an anchor, but it's not. What that's doing is that's just releasing, and the rouleau triangle sits on the same axle as the escape wheel.
Uh-huh.
If that makes sense.
Yeah, no, it does.
So and the spring is like a little mini hairspring underneath here. So you've got your hairspring for the balance.
It's just,
That hairspring that's tiny that sits under there. And this mechanism was actually developed by Derek Pratt in a pocket watch, and he put it into a tourbillon mechanism years ago
huh.
for Urban Jurgensen, essentially. So this kind of and Marco Lang's used a similar system in his remontoire watch. The rouleau triangle is a way to release that the anchor for the spring that sits on the
Oh, because it's kind of cranking around.
yeah, it just keeps
and then-
turning
yeah.
constantly, and it just releases it constantly.
As it's
Yeah.
collecting it lets it go.
Yeah.
Very, very cool. One more thing, more than one thing.
Yeah, there's so much to talk
The
about.
finish, first of all, we got a power reserve down here. I guess
Yeah.
what would be 9.
Yeah, the power reserve right there. This is black polish, that bridge right there. I mean, you can see it in the...
Does it follow the marine chronometer way of going from 0 all the way up, or does it do it the other way?
Ooh, good question.
Is 0 a full wind? Do you know?
No.
No,
think
it's
so.
the other way.
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah. You know, let me just wind it and I'll tell you. No, it's the other way. It's one is...
Oh, so
full.
it's
Yeah.
so all the way up is all the way up.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Beautiful frosting on
Yeah.
the bridges. I mean, again, the anglage here as I wind it. Check this out. I mean, this is cool.
Oh, God. It's got that smooth line that Mitch
Yeah.
loves. The ratchet on there looks like silk.
And there's
Yeah.
black polish on those two wheels on that.
And those
Barrel.
the things that are bridging that barrel down. What are those two? Those two Mickey Mouse dot. What's
These
yeah.
that black polish, they're just gears.
Oh my
Like,
God!
I say just gears, they're geared. They're black polish as well. I mean, it's exquisite. The keyless works over here. There's black polish on that and anglage. I mean, it's an exercise in absolute, very very high quality hand finishing.
Wow.
It's a remarkable watch.
Anything you want to say, Mitch, about it, or you just?
How many hours do you have?
Yeah, we could be a while.
We
Well,
have more
actually-
watches to talk about.
Yeah, just a couple of things. The dial
Yeah.
is multi-level
Enamel.
enamel.
Yeah.
And even on the edges, it's rounded, which is hard to see. It's not the effect of the glass, but really it's rounded. And I think they gave up making all the pieces. They were supposed to make 10 of these and 10 in black, and they gave up. They didn't, because, it was very difficult. The other thing, turn it over for a second, that this to me is one of the most incredible things. It shows you the workmanship and their ethos. You see on the minute hand, there's a bulge out in the middle of the hand.
Right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So talk amongst yourselves for about 10 seconds.
To figure out why?
Well, why is it there? And it has no purpose
Is it
except for
aesthetic?
design and aesthetic. Look at it. Now,
Right.
right now,
Perfect timing.
The second hand
Second-
bounce weight.
right there. It goes right into it. I mean, to me, that is such an unnecessary.
We might be watch nerds.
Yeah. But that's art, man. That's
We
art.
might be.
But that to me, that seals the deal. So one of the things that connects it to the logical one
Yep.
is when I was getting the sales pitch, and Romain Gaultier really likes his watch, and it's okay. In the order that you never know who you're talking to, I'd left the sales pitch. I mean, I already had said, yeah, probably, yes, give me a day. And I emailed Romain. I said, so really did you think this was that great a watch, or are they just throwing your name around? And he wrote back to me and said, that's a watch. I mean, when a watchmaker says, that's a watch, it's a watch.
Well, I told you, I saw him on his first go out. He only had the one piece, that sort of hexagonal.
Yeah.
At the Sochi Museum. This is many, many years ago. I was like, wow, that's pretty impressive. He goes, really? Thank you. And he was very alone. It was him and a watch. And look at, I mean, this is just, it's a level of magnificence that I find to be as unparalleled as the logical one. And of course, we're going to see some other stuff.
One more thing
One
to
more
mention.
Okay, hold on.
The Geneva stopworks on the barrel over here.
Say again.
The Geneva stopworks.
What's it? Tell the audience.
So
what
right,
that
that what that is so when you're winding the watch, this it's a manual wind, so you can't overwind it.
It's got a clutch that'll decouple.
It's not in the clutch. No, it just stops the barrel. You just can't crank it.
Oh, okay.
And again, that sits right here on the top. So as you wind the watch, you get to the stop, and it just literally stops it.
Puts a brake on there.
Yeah, it just stops it.
Yeah.
So again,
And
it's traditional
it's-
watchmaking. It's fantastic.
It's fantastic. Yeah.
Wow. Thank you for.
I mean, it's
that.
one of those. It's one of those watches where, to see it to see it in front of me, it's just that much more magnificent because the pictures are just incredible.
Should we continue with the remarkable watch?
Yeah, should we stay with the
Remarkable section
the
of
show
Mitch's
par
collection.
world?
This is so
By the way, this is the Chopard
brand.
The
Brand.
brand.
Yeah, that's owned by.
But it's their own department is Ferdinand Berthoud.
This is one of your latest watches, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, it is.
This has recently been collected by Mitch, and this is well, you should tell us what it is because I actually don't know the technical name of this watch.
It's Chopard's Full Strike.
Full Strike.
It's Full Strike. So it's a minute repeater. And what's unique about this is As the story goes, KFS, called Friedrich Schufler, was sitting at dinner one night, and they're into wine. And he took out his wine glass and he flicked it, and that, fine crystal, how
Yep.
it
Ding.
dings.
Yeah, yeah.
He said,
Resonates.
I want my repeater to sound like this. And so they set off on this mission to reproduce that sound. And they got it by creating a sapphire gong. Most gongs are historically made of metal,
Yeah.
right? And factoid, most of those metals have been hardened by the use of
Heat.
horse urine.
Oh.
Heat and piss.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, but it's true. I actually found out a reason. There's a chemical reason. I don't know how they got to this.
Well, when they dip it in, it's got a horse urine in there. And
Yeah, no, it really is. It's not a joke. There's explained
all
to me.
three of us know a watchmaker who told me about that, and I went, get the fuck out of here. He goes,
No, it's true.
Yeah.
Well, I've never. I've learned something today, and that's great because
Yeah.
I never knew that.
Yeah, the
how
standard.
they make those?
It's the standard
So there must-
chime.
So there must
they
be a
harden
chemical
it.
reaction.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And I was on a tour, and a watchmaker explained it to me. And I was a chemistry major in college, but that was a while ago.
Right,
So
but you understood the reaction that the hot metal was having being dropped in the horse piss.
maybe, but anyway, this is made out of a solid block of sapphire. So the gongs are around the edge, but they're also part of that creation is it's actually attached to the surface, to the crystal. So it amplifies the sound.
So the gongs themselves are sapphire wrapping around the circumference.
Correct.
Exactly, yes.
Let's step back one
Yeah.
because we've talked about this is a minute repeater. There are
Right.
perhaps some people who don't know what a minute repeater is, and we're about to show you. But the mechanism essentially is a mechanical way of telling time with sound that was originally done in pocket watches prior to electricity, so you can tell the time at night. And watchmakers decided that would be kind of cool to allow people to tell time at night. So they devised a mechanical system where the hours are chimed, then the quarter to break it up, and then the individual minutes within each quarter. So there's 15 minutes in each quarter. So we have, typical minute repeater has two hammers and two gongs, two different tones to differentiate between hours and seconds, and also the quarters. So right here, you'll see these two prominent, these are the hammers right now. And these are the guys here, when we operate it, they actually chime, they beat against the sapphire crystal, in this case, which is difficult to see because it's colorless, but there's the ring, the gong runs around the perimeter of the watch. And that's always the traditional way of doing a minute repeater. Now there are people that build repeaters with different shaped gongs, but that's what a minute repeater is. And they're operated either by a slide, because you've got to charge a spring, and you've got all these gears and mechanisms under the dial, typically, that figure out, with knowing what time it is, how many chimes to do for the hours, then the quarter. So again, we're just going to operate it, and then we can explain a little bit more about how it's working. But right now, so the time is 1:20 1. So you're going to get the individual hour first, then you're going to get the quarter to tell people that we're in the second quarter, and then you'll get the individual minutes afterwards. So I'm actually we'll do it visually and then also audibly, because we may not be able to hear it quite as well.
Okay.
So keep quiet, Scott. Options for, so let's visually watch it. So
Boy, it's smack on. It's 7:53 right there. Wow.
So see if we can get.
And there was no hesitation either when it went to the quarter.
No, but we'll talk about that.
Yeah. Give me one more of those, just in case, because I want to maybe cut away. I was talking over the top of it.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Again, watch nerds sitting quietly listening to a minute repeater. Pretty special. It's absolutely stunning, this watch. Titanium case.
And
Again.
what have they done to that titanium, by the way? Let me get you back.
Ceramicized.
Ooh, okay.
That's a little bit of a departure for you, too.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
You know what? It was fun, and
Yeah.
it's kind of, I can wear this anywhere, anyhow. No one's going to know what it is.
No, it's light, and it looks just, it almost, I mean, the crown makes it, is really sort of the giveaway, like, leave me alone,
Yeah.
you know?
Double barrel. Would that be right? LUC.
It's probably.
Yeah, I think it is double barrel.
Yeah.
But beautifully finished Geneva stripes, anglage. What you'd expect in a high end.
Boy, the LUC people just
Yeah.
do a whole
They-
other piece of business, don't they?
Yeah.
And that's power reserve at,
Well, one's the power reserve for the movement, the other's the power reserve for the
chimer.
for the chime.
Ah, okay. So that, yeah. So
So that's why it's two hands.
is one direction winding for the watch, and the other goes for the.
No, they both go the same way. Oh no, you're right. It's
Yeah.
both. Yeah.
So we go
I don't
back.
pay attention.
Here, put that in front of the camera so we can see that little piece of business.
Oh, that was rather selfish of me.
That's okay, we'll fix that.
Well, we'll just operate it. You'll see the power reserve going down.
The one thing.
It's okay, we can't hear it anyways, go ahead.
Okay.
It's fantastic.
The one thing that Scott was alluding to was the ghost quarter.
Mm.
The ghost quarter is the time between 01 and 14, 15,
Yeah.
where there's no quarter. It doesn't chime a quarter.
Yeah.
In traditional minute repeaters, there's a pause. You have the chime of the hour,
Right.
then there's a pause
Yeah.
of varying degrees, and then you hear the minute because there's nothing for the quarter to ring. In this watch, the mechanics are so advanced that there is no quarter hour, there's no ghost hour. It goes from the hour directly into the minutes. I've never seen one that works like this. You say,
I've never seen it. Can I, the only other one I've sung was the Grubel Forzi. Can I put it on my mic over here? Tim, let me give it a wordle on my mic.
Yeah. So now we're in that. Now we're set to the time, which would be great to
demonstrate that.
Good.
demonstrate
Alright, so let's try this. You just push down
Yeah.
the pusher.
Mhm.
So, go ahead.
No, so there was no da-ding, da-ding, da-ding to indicate the quarters, because there is no quarter, because it's 8:11.
Yeah.
So the fact that
didn't wait.
it didn't wait, and that
Yeah.
to me is
Very cool.
a technical thing that most people will not appreciate, but it just shows you the level of degree of detail that this
Engineering.
watch.
Yeah, great
exactly.
It's magnificent.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you, I love the fact that the repeater spring is just exposed. What an amazing.
The regulator.
Yeah, the one that's the thing
Yeah.
that's powering up.
Mhm.
Because, as Tim said, like usually when you slide a repeater down, that's what's charging up
Right.
this.
Mhm.
But this has
This is by
got
spring.
a different, which
Right.
probably is how they how they keep from having the ghost on there. It's
I
probably
guess.
the way the power is fed to it.
Well, that you're talking about the spinning part.
Yeah.
That's called a regulator. So all minute repeaters have that to even out the chiming, because as that spins around.
No, but what I'm saying is, as you pointed out,
Mhm.
it's got its own barrel as opposed to being charged up on demand.
Right.
When you slide this guy down, you're charging that regulator up.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I hear what you're saying. Yes.
Yeah.
The one thing that's important for, if you're looking at a minute repeater, to always remember is, I always thought it was called a governor.
Yeah.
But whether it's a governor or regulator, when it fires, it spins.
Yeah.
And then after the chiming has chimed, it's still spinning. Never, with a capital never, refire it when it's still spinning. You do that, it's going back to the spa. It's going back to Switzerland. You can break it.
Oh, yeah,
So-
these are probably the most delicate of mechanisms. It's probably easier to break this than a perpetual calendar, I would suspect, because once it's in motion, it's in motion.
Right, and if you engage it when the regulator or governor is spinning, bad news.
Right, and it's another thing that Grubel and Forsey did, is that those mechanisms are locked out while it's doing its business, so it's not breakable.
Uh-huh, I didn't know.
All right, you got another tasty treat.
Another
for us?
gem.
Okay.
Now we're going to, relatively speaking, and it is not relatively, it is a simple time-only watch, but made by a genius watchmaker by the name of Christian Lass. And Christian is, and we've talked about him prior, he's a native Dane, and he's back in Denmark building watches with his wife, and she's actually Hannah. She's a hand engraver of note. So on this watch, the dial, the Roman numeral or Arabic numerals, the name plate is all done by hand by Hannah, and this is a exquisite manual wind, fairly traditional caliber.
He's making the movement.
Yes. Now the architecture for the wheel train on this watch is an A shield base movement. So that's the architecture, but again it's taken to the nth degree in terms of the finishing. The bridge work has got nothing to do with an A shield. It's just the geometry, if you will, of the wheel train. The bridge that holds the balance wheel is exquisite, hand finished to the nth degree, and Christian is. I mean, he worked for Paddock in the museum for years in the restoration department, and he also worked for Vianney Halter. So the tie-in for me with this watch is again, Mitch owns a Vianney Halter Classic, which we had a fun little breakfast many moons ago where there were two watches on the last shipment, one a yellow, one a red. I think we may have even talked about it before. No, we haven't talked about it. But Mitch, being my client, obviously had the choice. And I thought I was going to get two yellows in that shipment, and I would get a yellow gold one, as so was Mitch.
For you.
Yeah. And you've seen my rose gold classic. Well,
yeah.
The reason I have a rose gold classic and not a yellow is because this gentleman picked the yellow. So I came down to Orange County, and we had a breakfast in a wonderful restaurant in San Juan Capistrano. I said, Mitch, you get to choose because you're the client. And so I laid the two watches out in front of him, and he looked at me fairly quickly and went, "Sorry, buddy," and reached for the yellow gold one.
It took about a heartbeat.
Yeah.
About a heartbeat to get that.
But why are we digressing onto Vianney Halter? Well, because Christian Lass worked for Vianney for a number of years, and he actually assembled our watches. I've actually,
Oh, really?
yes, I have that on authority from him because he remembers those last shipment of watches. So.
Do you want to show us some special? It looks like a really nice perlage underneath the.
Yeah.
There's some nice striping. Is this all black polished?
There's parts that are black polished on this.
The bridge on that.
No, the wheel, the screws are black polished. There's not a lot of black polish on this. It's mostly graining. There's circular graining. There's the Geneva stripes. This is all this is all hand engraved. The nameplate that says Christian Lass, Denmark. That's all done by Hannah.
You got to turn a little bit more for us.
Oh, I've gone the wrong way.
There you go.
There we go. This lighting is weird.
Yeah.
Serial number. There's a little plaque for the serial number, which is right here. This is number 50, which is a lot. There's only 50 of these 30 CP. This is a model of the.
So you got the last of the 50.
So
So unlike you.
Well, if you can't get serial number 1, Why not get the
Right,
last?
Right, exactly, yeah.
And Mitch has a couple of those in his collection.
Yeah,
So do.
The logical one is number 20,
the last of the
Yeah.
20, yeah.
and your
Well, the
Daniels.
Daniels is the last of the
35 or
30.
35.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, what's fun on this watch is there's a part of the regulation system, which is right here.
Mhm.
That's a ruby sphere, which allows the positioning of the stud that's holding the free sprung balance to be really fine-tuned with those screws which sit right here and here.
Can any watchmaker make that adjustment, or is this a...
You can't, any skilled watchmaker could probably do
Okay.
it. Why? Well, because he could, and he thought it was really cool, and he hadn't seen that.
The bridge on that balance wheel is super cool.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah, it's a different way of looking at it.
Yeah.
So the attraction, that's one of the attractions. It's because anybody can do anything, but to doing something, to thinking outside the box, I guess. Is
I
the
mean,
best
yeah,
way.
you certainly have, you guys both, the Tuscar, for example,
Yeah.
is really all the fun way of holding that guy down there.
Here's another aspect of this watch, the case. So, unlike most watchmakers, most artisanal independent watchmakers, they do not make their own cases. There are case manufacturers. Christian makes his own case, and I've seen it. I've been to his workshop in Denmark. That was a trek, but he makes his own case. And
How does he cut it? With what?
well, so when I say let me back up, he gets a blank disc, ring of 18 karat gold, and then he finishes it. He does. They add the lugs in house, and they solder the lugs into it, and it's remarkable. That level of craftsmanship. The
Can you bring it
hands,
up
the
close
dials.
there, Tim, so I can see them? So it focuses. Just back it up. There you go. Perfect.
Yeah. They make the crown. He's got CNC machine. He's got lathes.
So he
he's got
does have a
mills.
cutter. He has a...
Oh yeah, yeah. So
And he pours the gold?
no, he's getting in this case he's getting the blank donut, if you will.
And then
Yeah, and
the
then
machine's milling it?
Yeah, milling it. Yeah.
Fucking...
And adding the lugs, soldering the lugs, and the dial is all done in house. Everything is done. I mean, it's
this seems to be a popular style right now. I mean, this is kind of what
Traditional.
Ship Hero's doing, this kind of setup, but this looks magnificent. And
Yeah.
this guy's the watchmaker, so I think that's also...
yeah. I mean,
Quite
this
good.
Christian is
You said he was a Patek Philippe guy? What?
he worked at Patek for a long time. Yeah, and
Okay.
then,
In the museum.
restoration.
In the museum, so what,
Yeah.
they'd bring him an old crapped out
Yeah,
triple date and he would fix it?
Mhm.
yeah, all that type of stuff. He worked there for a long
Oh
time.
my goodness, wow, he's had his hands on some...
Yes.
He's cut his teeth on the right stuff. then.
And again, this is a point that I've made before. For a lot of the watchmakers, one of the things that for me is a big deal for a watchmaker is to have a period of time, 5-7 years, let's say, working in restoration, where you
Yeah.
get to handle the greats of the years before to see what works and, more importantly, what doesn't work in terms of designs, materials, and that experience is really, really important when you're building your own watch from scratch. So
Yeah, I mean, I think, go ahead.
I think that's an important point. I
Mhm.
was going to ask you about it at some point. There seems to be, and it's just my impression, that there's a proliferation of young watchmakers
Yes.
putting out watches now.
Yep.
Really young guys, right out of school, whatever,
Mhm.
and quite frankly, charging huge dollars for their products. And
right.
there seems to be this FOMO, fear of missing out, and a lot of these people just put these watches out and they're gobbled up.
Yeah.
And I wonder if, is it an internet thing? What's behind it? I mean, they don't have this kind of history
Right.
to produce the watches. And I think people need to be educated. Not that they're making bad product, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that for a minute, but how do you sort this all out? Because
Yeah.
every other week there's another young guy or pair of guys who are putting out the next greatest watch.
Social media,
Yeah.
for one.
Mhm.
I think, there's a lot of a lot of younger people that, and we should say thank God they're finding an appreciation for this craft
Yeah,
instead of wanting an Apple Watch or whatever watch. So I think social media plays a big role. You might have a thought on that. I mean, it seems like there's one guy out there who he's always posting, and I think he's a Russian guy. You and I talked about it a couple weeks ago, and his material stuff looks really right. Burkus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Andrej.
You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I've seen it.
He's a new
Check,
guy, but
check. He's been around a long time.
yeah, but he's very active on the socials. Very, very active.
Right.
And he's got a huge following. So I think he's like a comedian or a songwriter or anything. He's created his own hype. That's one explanation. I think I have. Tim might have that.
I think you guys could provide a service to the population up there, trying to sort through all the chatter and what differentiates a really classic, beautiful, well-made watch to just the latest and greatest.
Well, and to that point, thank you and Tim, because the two of you have really pointed me in that North Star. And what makes a timepiece so great and wondrous and beautiful, magnificent. And it's so many elements. The watchmaker's a designer, he's a watchmaker, he's a metallurgist, he's an engineer. There's so many disciplines at play.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
Exactly.
And it's rare. We've talked about it many, many times. It's actually rare when you have all these faculties of both the design aesthetic to make a watch that is a good-looking watch. Obviously, that's somewhat subjective, but also to have the engineering and the physics and the math side of the brain all in one. I mean, there's a few watchmakers out there that have that, and it's rare in the watch business. I mean, going back to the Ferdinand Batut, that's a collaborative effort from a team of brilliant, very, very talented watchmakers, finishers, etc. But when you get down to a Christian Lass watch, okay, you could argue there's two people, Hannah, his wife, who's doing the hand engraving, but Christian designed this watch, designed the movement, the hands, the case, everything else. It's really rare to find that, and that's what I've always felt was pretty compelling.
Well, he stands on the shoulders of the greats too. I mean, he learned how to do this by taking absolute exquisite watchmaking and restoring it. So he's earned it.
Hannah's actually a watchmaker.
Yeah, no, I know.
Yeah,
She's not just the engraver.
No, she's actually she's a trained watchman.
Yeah, she did the German classic apprentice.
She just chose to do the engraving.
Well,
And you know what else?
I've seen her watch.
They are just really sweet people.
Yeah.
And when you buy something of these, you're buying a person. You're not just buying a watch, especially in the independent world. And that to me is important when I'm considering what I'm going to be looking at.
You're a patron. It's a different.
Well, that's how I look at it.
It's like if I know that if you lived 100 years ago, Salvador Dali you'd be one of his patrons, and this is a living art form, and I think your knowledge about it and you're willing to share it is one of the great stories of you.
Well, thank you.
So, and again, to both of you guys, I didn't really look at these things as anything other than a way to look at the time, and I've grown into this way, following you. I wouldn't know what Jaeger LeCoultre, I wouldn't know Jaja LeCoultre if not for you. So, shall we go on?
Yeah. We've got more.
Oh my God. Oh my God, hold on, before I switch it over, let me catch my breath. Okay, go ahead, Tim.
Well, this tells you that Mitch has been at this for a while, shall we say.
Oh, wow.
An early adopter is what I use in many aspects. And, long before we have the hype of right now, which is what we have, in my opinion, with Jean, is we had a very talented watchmaker making remarkable. And here's one of them. I mean, this watch is 20-something years old?
This is actually from, I think, 2001. I probably got it in about 2003.
Yeah.
Did you buy it new, or was it just one of the before he caught fire, or how does it?
Long before he caught fire.
Long before he caught fire, I purchased it gray market. actually, but it was new.
But you knew when you saw what was going on here.
I didn't have a clue.
Oh, you didn't know? Okay.
No! I mean, I knew about the watch, I didn't know about the man.
Yeah.
And
No, but I mean, for the man, one thing, I'm saying
Yeah.
you knew what was going on in this mechanism. You looked at it and you went, holy,
I think so. It's been a long time. But when I learned about the mechanics and about what it was supposed to do and the resonance
Yeah.
of it,
Yeah.
it fascinated me.
Yeah.
Before you go, Tim, I just want to say, as a young musician, as a drummer, I saw a demonstration of this. I had a music teacher. She put out 14 metronomes in the front of the room. And within a few minutes, they were all in sync, which is acoustic resonance, which I believe is what we're seeing here. But Tim and I have gone back and forth. So here you go, Tim.
Yeah.
You're on stage, baby.
Again, okay, so this is the Resonance by FP Francois Paul Jean, and this is one of the early pieces. It's not the earliest series, I don't think.
No, it's not.
Not his first.
No,
No, but
resonance.
it's
I think it's
an early
01 or something like that.
It's lovely. It's rose gold, the lovely silver dial, and obviously what's exciting
And
about
all of
this.
them, go back one sec, two completely different
Movements.
movements, right? And two different settable times.
Yeah,
In the interest of full disclosure,
Yeah.
we didn't pull the crown to center the second hand, so they're not,
right. They're not.
they're not appearing. I didn't do that when I said
But that's
that.
good, because Tim can show us that in a second, so.
So let's go to the back of this watch, which is this watch, really.
Ugh. So not the gold movement.
Not the gold.
No, this
Before
is
he was
brass. This is brass.
Yeah.
This is one of the big daddies.
Thank.
So, long before, Jean now, his watches have a 18 karat gold movement.
Yeah.
The main plate, the bridges are all made in gold. Whereas originally this was traditionally the way he made his watches with brass, and then it was rhodium plated. The resonance is, you'll see the two balance wheels are really close to each other. And you and I have talked about this.
Yeah.
And we have another watch to follow up with this, but resonance is the two objects in motion will go into resonance, meaning they will oscillate. Oscillation, I think is the right word, is it will move together. And to your point of the metronomes, they all start going tick, tick, tick exactly together. Because the sound waves all line up. They start to equalize. Is that correct?
That's correct. So if you stop one of these balance wheels, it would take it probably a little bit of time to catch back up, but eventually it will.
Yeah. And they oscillate backwards and forwards.
And they're in sync now, it looks like. They look like they're in resonance now.
Yeah.
Right,
It's been running for a while. as
right.
well. Yeah.
But I just didn't set the second
Well,
hand.
Tim will, so to Mitch's point, Tim, show the watch, so right now the second hands are not in sync.
Right. And we just pull this crown out.
Yeah,
And that syncs them up, and now
no, they're,
they're in sync.
and this watch, so it's at least 25 years old.
Yeah.
And it still works perfectly.
Has it been back to Jorn? Never.
No, but
No.
so, yeah.
They've looked at it and said, it's working, don't send it back.
Yeah, if it
If it ain't broke.
yeah.
You know?
But, watches are sort of finicky that way. They look like they're working, but their insides are starting to dry up. That's the only thing.
Yeah, I mean, in fairness, this is not a daily wear, so it's not
Okay.
like in,
Well, that's
it's
a great shot.
it's not getting worn every day, so.
Yeah, so individual barrels up here at 12 with my little poker for the technical guys. So,
Exquisite.
yeah, that's the crown wheel there winds both of these barrels, and you got a movement running down here and a movement running down here. So individual separate movements, and then the two balance wheels sit right next to each other. Now, as we've talked before, and I have this on authority from Mr. Vianney Halter.
Oh, have you?
Yeah,
Okay.
because he's a nerd.
Well, because he's Vianney.
And he's a friend with Francois Paul. He worked with him for a while as well at a company. If you take this watch and the movement and you put it in a vacuum, these balance wheels no longer stay in resonance. And the reason they're in resonance is because the air molecules are close enough, the two wheels are close enough that the air molecules are what put this watch into resonance.
So you wouldn't call it acoustic resonance, you'd call it
No,
environmental.
I guess so,
Resonance.
yes.
Okay, so this was built off of a clock.
Yeah.
That's how he came up with this idea.
Yeah.
The clock has a resonance.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing?
Probably, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know the clock, but if it's the
But
same.
if I remember the story, he built it when he saw a clock.
Yeah, and they've
remember?
had clocks that have resonant
Oh,
clocks.
yeah, no, they've had two movements
Yeah.
going in several, but,
Yeah.
but to this, the point here is what I'm trying to make is, I don't think this is a vacuum inside.
No, of course it's
No,
not.
no,
It's not a
no,
vacuum.
yeah.
Not at all.
No.
But if you put this watch into or the movement in a vacuum, because Vianney did it, because he has those.
To do a test on it,
Yeah,
and it
just to see.
didn't perform.
They went out of resonance.
Yeah.
But the reason they stay in resonance is because the molecules of the air are close.
That they're moving in that
Yeah.
close proximity.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
I
I like the fact that the bridges too are just a little bit different.
Yeah, well, that's
Yeah.
because one of them is adjustable, if I'm not right. Right? See this one right? When they set the watch up right there, there's a screw. This is adjustable to get the position of these two balance wheels exactly correct.
That's a pretty good watchmaker, put that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
it's a fantastic.
Yeah, and to your point, there's a thing about, you just said the young watchmakers. A lot of the guys have cut their teeth there.
Mm-hmm.
They've like won some award from Shorn,
Mm-hmm.
and then
Well,
they've gone on to,
Well, he supports their
yeah, I
development.
mean, which I think is
It's
fantastic.
a
good.
really
Yeah.
very noble
Mhm.
thing.
Yeah.
So let's go to the next piece.
Oh, yeah, okay, so this is the other discussion, hold on, let me get over there. Okay,
And here we have Armin Strom's answer to resonance,
mm-hmm,
which this has again two balance wheels. This has a slightly different mechanism for keeping these balance wheels in resonance. They call it the mirrored force resonance.
Right.
So you've actually got, again, it's very difficult to see, but right here there's a little spring that it runs around and it goes underneath the case and comes around here.
so that spring is what's driving those second hands up and top and bottom.
Well, once they start, when you start winding this watch, if it's not in resonance, it goes into resonance pretty quick, right?
Yeah, they say I think it's about 15, 20 seconds.
But is that because it shares this spring that's
Yes.
able to do that?
That's
Yes.
where the acoustic, the waves can
Mhm.
travel through that spring, and the motion of the spring
It's gonna bring both of those oscillators into,
fairly quickly.
Mhm.
that's cool. But it also has a button to push on it to drive those second hands together?
Well, it just it zeroes it
Just
out.
syncs them up, but.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So,
Okay.
and they run opposite directions, which
Yeah.
is kind of cool.
Well, that makes sense though.
And there have been a lot of iterations. This is
Yes.
actually the very first one
This-
ever made.
That's right.
Does the FP Jorn have the second hand running on the back side and back way?
No.
It doesn't. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
That's the chronometer optimum.
That's the CO.
Yeah.
Talk about what we see here is pretty amazing too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
beautiful finishing, twin barrels, I'm sure, right?
Mhm.
I don't know this watch, but it's
I
two
believe- yeah.
mainsprings.
Mhm.
It's
Yeah.
black polishing on the bridge, on the platine there?
No, that's graining. There's no black polish
Oh,
on this.
okay.
That's all different graining.
So what's great about these guys, they're two great guys, aren't they?
They really
Oh,
are.
they're just great fucking guys.
Claude and Serge.
It's
Serge,
Serge, yeah, Serge.
They are disciples of our boy Martin Braun.
Ah,
They love Martin, and one of them was Martin's student, because I think one of them's more watchmaker, the other one's
Claude's the
more like
watchmaker.
Claude, yeah,
lawyer,
yeah.
the other guy's like more businessy.
Serge, he's the brand owner.
And I think the watchmaker guy's the one that, Martin still talks to him a lot.
Claude, I imagine.
Yeah.
They were also neighbors to Armstrong.
Yeah, you mean,
the man.
Yeah.
That's how they got the name.
Well, that was so great, because when we went out to visit them, and people don't know the history of this brand is really about skeletonizing.
Right, that
stuff.
was Armstrong's thing.
Yeah, he would
Yeah.
take a bunch of Omega Speedmasters and drill them down
Uh-huh.
until there was just
Yeah.
nothing left. But this is more open work, I'm thinking, as far as skeletonizing what they're doing now.
Well, I think
This one's less, but-
other models have
Yeah.
much more scale.
Yeah,
than
this
that.
one has this time chapter is rather large.
This is not because of skeleton. This is because of the movement.
The resonance.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
And some people will argue that this is not resonance. I've had
Yeah.
grumbling from certain people who will remain nameless, not in this room, of course, that this is not resonance, and then other people say, of course it is. It's opinionated.
It's,
yeah, I
but
think I guess I'd throw it out there that like many things in life, there's a spectrum.
Mhm.
But to me, those balance wheels are in resonance. Now, is it resonance in a pure acoustic way? No.
It certainly fits the definition of resonance.
Mhm.
I think if we did the demonstration that my music teacher did with 14 metronomes in the front of the room set at 98 and watching them all get back together,
This one.
this is that.
No, this is not that, because they're connected.
Yeah.
That's true.
They're
but
connected
they
to
still-
that
but
wire.
They can still be out of sync. I get that there's a piece that
Yeah.
goes in between them and it's helping
Yeah,
them,
right.
but they still gotta find their way. to
Right,
resonance.
and that
Yeah.
spring, the mirrored force. It's mirroring. The spring is mirrored on either side. That spring is the conduit for the wave.
Can you point down at that, please? That gizmo right between both of them?
It's
I know
right-
It's
it's
so
right
hard
down
to see,
here.
Yeah.
walking in tight.
It goes
It goes in and out.
in and out, yeah.
Yeah, and that motion that's allowing it. That you can see the two right there. They're moving in and out a little bit. That motion is what allows transfers or the conduit for the wave, the sound wave, if you will, sound or motion, it's the same thing, to go into resonance, to equalize.
So you're saying sound, which sounds like acoustic to me, but I'll give you that.
Yeah.
What I'm trying to figure out is what would take that out of sync with that down there? What gets
Right now?
these out of sync?
I
Just
could probably
by-
shake the watch.
shake the watch and they'll go out of
They
sync
might-
because these oscillators will teeter. Is that what you're saying?
Oh, thanks a lot, Tim.
Yeah, so they're
You
not.
drop it on the ground. Hold on.
No, I just did this. That's nothing. There's nothing.
And I just want to see if they go out of.
This has gone through several visits. Because,
Back
yeah,
to-
because, again, this is number one.
Because I
And
just-
this-
I just messed it up.
No, you didn't.
No,
I will
but it's still
personally
in
fly
sync.
it back
But
there.
it's in sync.
Yeah, no, I mean,
It's out of
if
sync.
what you did messed it up, then it's not a watch.
It's out of
Because-
sync. You did it, Tim.
Yeah.
No.
No,
No,
it's
you
not.
didn't.
No, so
It's
the-
not-
Zero.
it's
back in
No,
sync.
yeah,
No,
back in
but-
sync. Yeah,
No,
yeah.
no,
Okay.
no.
So never mind.
Yeah.
It didn't work.
Yeah.
You didn't prove
The
it.
watch works, shaking it didn't.
The watch works, but those things don't go out of sync. once
Right,
they're
right,
set.
right.
It's very hard to.
But it wouldn't, it shouldn't, it's a wristwatch, you're not gonna walk around with your arms.
Well, right, but you like this all the day long.
Yeah, exactly,
Yeah.
it's gotta do that.
But when the watch runs down and you start
Yeah.
from scratch, it's not going to be in resonance until about 15 seconds or so.
Well, it may even be more, I can't remember anymore.
Oh, is that the?
You have to wait for a little while for it to power up and to get into sync.
I remember we were down in Orange County at
Yeah.
that store down there when
Yeah.
those guys came and showed this off.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, there's much more story about that.
About
I can't
about
do
this
that
watch.
This watch?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
There's,
Well, we'll be here till 7.
Yeah.
we can't do that.
No.
Your
We gotta
watch.
eat,
Yeah,
buddy.
yeah.
I'm running on a piece of toast.
Right.
What's next? Getting down to the
almost-
nitty and the gritty.
almost-
Oh, you're the best. Thank you for sharing.
Oh,
Where
this is
should we
great.
go?
Oh, okay. Okay.
Is this the retrograde? Or
Yeah.
This is, the retrograde.
It's retrograde power reserve.
From
So this is Paul Gerber.
Paul Gerber, for those that don't know, is again one of these brilliant watchmakers who's actually remained mostly in the background of the watch industry
Mhm.
for much of his career. But he's an independent watchmaker for many years and been involved in the background, NDAs, etc., developing mechanisms, movements for other brands, big brands. And he also makes his own watches in tiny quantities, and they're spectacular.
And you've been his champion for a long time. I mean, you've had his triple
Yeah.
rotor
Yeah,
watches for a long time.
Yeah.
He's got kind of a reputation for doing some
cool stuff.
cool
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. He doesn't speak very good English though.
Nope. I've been to his workshop, him and Ruth, and it's down underneath a house in Zurich, and he does remarkable stuff.
He was behind the MIH watch. He
Correct.
made the
How many?
Yeah.
How many? How many is he doing a year now? Is he? Still
He's
holding-
essentially he's semi-retired at this
Yeah.
point. He never his annual production was tiny. I mean,
Yeah.
probably 10, 12 watches, perhaps, maybe.
Okay, but to show you his capabilities of what he was doing, this watch actually starts as a manual wind.
Yeah,
It's a Poussin movement. I forget the numbers.
7001.
Okay, but it's a manual watch
Okay.
that he actually re-engineered to make it
He
into
fixes
an
it with
automatic.
these rotors on
Right.
there.
Yeah, he added an automatic mechanism
Right.
with double.
And that's his signature, right? To have multiple
Right,
rotors
right,
like that.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Double. This has got 2 rotors,
Mhm.
and as you said, he made a watch later on with 3 rotors.
3 rotors, yeah.
Mhm.
Platinum. That's a platinum. There's a platinum weight.
Those are platinum rotors.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, gear shade.
And what's so is that a brass? That the platines a brass?
Yeah, brass
platine?
movement,
Yeah.
rhodium plated, the beautiful pelage.
The pelage looks great. He does all of that in house.
Yep.
Yep.
Absolutely. And a lovely case and a great dial.
Who
and
turns the dial?
So
That looks like Rose engine turn.
I don't think so.
no, it's not. It's not rose. I think it's done on a lathe.
Really?
Yeah.
Can you
yeah.
put it up tight, a little tighter in there? I know the light's a little
It's
tight.
still to see.
That's what I want to see. Yeah.
It's kind of out of focus.
But all the bluing, he does all
Yeah.
of that,
Yeah.
and all the appliques.
So this has a down at 6. You have a retrograde seconds.
He's apparently, if memory serves me correctly, the first person to do a retrograde. Second.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah.
Does the minute hand then jump when it
No,
retrogrades?
no, it's
So it's
gliding.
creeping,
Sweeping.
yeah,
But we'll get to 60
wandering.
seconds.
Sometimes they use the term wandering.
The other cool thing about this watch, while we're waiting for it to jump, which
Yeah.
is going to happen very soon, is the power reserve up at 12 o'clock.
Mhm.
So it's kind of a trick power reserve as well. And there it goes. Boom.
Nice. Ooh, and not a slow crawl.
Mhm.
A very fast little paw pulling that
Yeah.
fucker back. Nice.
So the power reserve on this watch,
Yeah.
you've got the hand, and then you've also got the disc behind it. But there are a couple of watches, and I've seen this in pocket watches. So when you wind the watch, I think the disc moves
Disc moves.
below the hand,
Mhm.
and then when the watch unwinds, the disc remains stationary, and the hand goes back. So Yuli Snarden did this on a watch as well,
Yeah.
wristwatch,
Mhm.
and I've seen it in pocket watches. But the crown is kind of tiny, but if I can.
Yeah, there you go. So the hand, the indicator for the power reserve is static, but the dial is,
Wow, that crown is really difficult.
it's tiny.
Yeah.
Oh, no fucking way. Look at that. So the hand's not moving.
Right, the disc moves on it.
But as it unwinds, the hand moves.
So so your power reserve disc isn't.
That's just,
same.
look what I can do.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, exactly.
Yeah.
He has the,
Huh?
I think he has a Guinness record, had at least,
most
for the
compli-
smallest wood, completely wood
I've seen
clock.
it. Yeah.
The smallest clock made out of all wood parts. He has that hanging in
He's
his.
like a Sven,
Sorry.
this
Yeah.
guy.
Oh yeah, very much so.
And he was actually part of the most complicated watch ever made.
Until Vacheron.
Right, until Vacheron.
Yeah.
Which was the,
It's
The one that Frank Mueller made.
Frank Mueller originally made the
Yeah.
movement, which, well, he didn't. He took a Victorin Piguet movement that was a highly complicated, I think it was a repeater perpetual calendar, and he made a wristwatch out of this movement and added, I think, a chronograph to it. And then the gentleman that bought it from him decided it wasn't complicated enough, and he went to Paul and said, can you add a tourbillon and make the chronograph a split-second chronograph and add some other stuff to it. And it became the most complicated wristwatch in the time. It was in the Guinness Book of World Records.
Mhm.
The gentleman was, Lord Aaron was the collector, Swiss industrialist. I think has passed away, sadly, but he was the one that went to Paul and said, can you add, and by the way, don't make the case any thicker or bigger.
Yeah, I was just going to say, he was able to fit them all in
Yeah.
and not change the
Not
dimensions of the
changed.
case.
And it's a remarkable. You can Google it. It's when you look at it, you go, "Wow, that watch."
Oh, I don't know why. I mean, it's and they were coming up with some stuff back then that was mighty beautiful. Like they had
Yeah.
a tourbillon that would literally lift itself up
Oh, that's the revolution.
out of the watch, and it would keep going.
Not in this watch.
I understand, but I'm just saying in that same case that like, anyways.
That's a Frank Mueller, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but going back to, I mean, Paul is, he's a genius. And I love on this watch as well. Look at the numerals, how they get bigger at 12 and then they get smaller again down. at
Oh,
6.
what a great little detail, right?
It's a
Yeah.
lovely, and then again, this watch is probably 25 years old.
Something like that, yeah.
We're aging ourselves. All right.
Don't do that.
And
Getting down to the nitty and the gritty.
do we want to?
Yeah.
This is kind of
This is
fun.
something we talked about on the show a couple weeks back, I think.
Yeah. Again, talking about different ways of telling time. The Kadokas. Stefan Kadoka is a German watchmaker, and I've worked with him for a number of years now, since 2017. And this is his K3 or Kadoka 3, and it has an unusual way of telling the time. It's so there's two hands. You've got a minute hand right now, and this is showing whatever it's 3 minutes past the hour, and you've actually got 2 hour hands, one right here, and one down there. You got the short and the medium. Why is that? Because you've got 3 hour hands on the same pinion. Let's jump into focus. And right now it is 2, so you've got 3 arcs on this watch.
That's a good angle. You were good.
Right there.
The other way, though. Spin it the other way. There you go. Perfect.
Why is it jumping out of focus?
It's hard to. That's the sapphire's tough.
Yeah. So we got 3 arcs: the outer arc, the middle, and the inside arc, and they've got the 4 hours on each of them. So this one here goes from 10, 11, 12, 1, 2 on the outside arc. If that's the longest hand, is about to disappear under the dial. And conversely, the short hand is popped up over here, and he's going to go 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 on the inside. And when he gets to 6, the middle hand, length hand, which is
That you
currently
can't
sitting
see.
underneath,
Mm.
he will pop over here and do 6, 7, 8, 9, back to 10, at which point this guy will be showing up on the far side at 10.
It's a touchdown.
You have to kind of see it in motion, so let's just quickly do that. So there we go. So he disappears, and there's 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 5, and
Here
then
comes the next guy.
the middle length hand is popping up to go for 6, so that's 6 o'clock. The little guy disappears, the short hand, and the middle hand is
Smoking.
7, 8,
Love it.
and there's the big hand again. So it's set at 120 degrees to each other. Very cool. Fun.
Very cool.
Challenging.
I wanted to get back to something Jorn did recently, which I meant to bring up. Jorn did a watch, as you guys know, with Francis Ford Coppola, which had the automaton of the hand.
Yeah.
And I'd say an $11 million result is pretty good. So Jorn, getting back, because we really kind of went really fast.
Yep.
Jorn's on fire, and what I find to be fascinating, especially about that watch that we looked at a few minutes ago, it's easily worth, and I think I'm being kind, 200 times what you paid for it. So your savviness as a collector, because in this world of watches, it's hard to buy something that's going to be worth the same amount tomorrow and more the next day. Very hard. And that brand, my God, that Peugeot brand, it's knocking me out right now.
Okay, I totally disagree with you.
Please.
Okay, first of all, with all due modesty, I have never bought a watch for financial gain.
That I know. I wasn't.
No, I'm just saying.
Yeah, okay.
But the value to me of these watches grows because of the beauty with which they represent. The story they represent, the history, for me, that they represent. And that you can't put a number on. And Tim helped me a number of years back cull the herd we weren't very successful because so many of the watches have memories associated with them. And some of them are expensive watches, some of them are very relatively inexpensive watches, but it's what it means and what it brings to the plate or to me. And that joy is incalculable. And if I could preach anything, you get what you want, what you like, what means something to you, and that's really all that matters. And the fact that that watch has appreciated whatever it's appreciated, and I'm not a fool, I know, I'm very cognizant of that, but that's not what it's about.
That I know, because I know, and we've talked about it on the show, nothing upsets me or you or Tim more than the first thing out of their mouth is, nice watch, how much? Fuck off is how much. It's not about that. I was merely fascinating. I find it absolutely fascinating that this particular brand is so on fire on the secondary and the
absolutely.
tertiary market. It's really a phenomenon. It's a true unicorn in the business to see what kind of money is coming for these watches. Outside of your Pateks and the watch that Steve McQueen actually wore in Bullet.
Yeah.
But to me that's like,
I think that's a whole nother discussion and a whole nother show, because we'll talk about psychology of watch collecting for some
Exactly.
people. It's and it's not right or wrong. It just it's a different way of looking at things for some people, and some people, Mitch to me has a very sort of pure way of looking at it, and
It's not the right way,
no,
but it's the right way
for
for
me,
me.
for you, yeah.
And I know you guys share it with
Yeah.
the same idea. I mean,
this explains it.
Yeah,
it does. And that was one of the motivations for writing that book, was because I wanted my sons to understand what's in the collection,
Right.
why it's there, and also just the adventures we've had along the way.
So as I've mentioned to you and Linda many times, and I know I can include Tim on this, I'm an orphan, and I don't know what his status is, but we're always open for adoption.
No worries, man. No worries.
What do we got over there? Because there's a couple
We
more.
don't. No, we don't.
Yeah, we do. We got a salmon dial there, and one.
Oh, that's this one.
Yes, that one.
Oh yeah, sorry.
Okay.
We'll finish. This is it.
We'll call it on that then.
I would say that this is a perfect example of the watchmaker's art and what a watch to finish on. We've seen some extraordinary watches today, and this is by another extraordinary watchmaker whose name we've mentioned many times, Kari Voutilainen. He's a genius watchmaker, and this is the 217 QRS. Has a date with a retrograde date, and it's beautiful guilloche dial that Kari's known for. The finishing on the movement is exquisite, it's as good as it gets. Any of these watches, it ranks alongside any of these high-end finished watches. It's his own movement. It has the dual escape wheels, a variation on the theme that Daniels and Breguet explored, and it's just a remarkable piece.
This movement, the Van Wheat,
Yes,
this is the end of the line for it, yeah?
Well, not this particular model. This model's from a few years ago. But yes, the Van Wheat movement, which was Kari's first in-house movement. His very first wristwatches made in series were the Observatoires. Of course, they used a Peugeot base caliber, which was a chronometer designed manual line movement, which he then built individual watches on that movement.
Yeah.
But the Van Wheat is his first movement, fully in-house, and it's an exquisite movement.
Do you get into a conversation with Kari about what the dial design is going to look like? Is this all?
That was between us.
Yeah.
Oh, really? So do tell.
Well, when Tim and I agreed that this was a watch to purchase, it was limited edition, whatever.
Yeah.
Anyway, and Tim said, okay, what do you want on it? Now, the only style of guilloche I wanted it was the basket. And the reason I wanted a basket, and it's what's in the center portion, was because when I was visiting Carrie, we were sitting there talking, and he said, I hate doing the basket. And I said, okay, you know,
You have to do the whole dial.
well, let me just stir the pot, and so I wanted the basket. I mean, I really like it. There are people who do really nice guilloche, and they're proud of the guilloche. This is just a completely different level.
Yeah.
And if you want a master class in guilloche, this is the kind of watch. And so Tim was very instrumental in designing this. I can appreciate good art, and as you know, we have art in our house and whatever. I can't make it. And it's hard for me to envision what something should look like, what's off on one. I knew I wanted salmon, but I didn't know the styles. So we kind of threw it around and went back and forth on it and settled on this. And I still remember when he delivered it to me, I just looked at it and said, where do you go from here?
Well,
And unfortunately,
You've gone a few
I
places.
found it. I found
Other ways to go,
Yeah.
more than one.
Yeah.
So,
But he's definitely, I mean, as far as finish, and I don't mean to be silly because he's Finnish, there's nothing touching it. I mean, there's four different patterns that I can see just from here. Obviously, the centerpiece annoyed him, and that's fine. But the second chapter, that doesn't look like any walk in the park.
It's good, and I mean to do all the different guilloches on different styles of guilloche on
On one piece.
Yeah, and not
And not
fuck it up.
Yeah.
in all fairness,
Yeah.
he didn't do the style. I mean, he has to.
Okay.
So I may have tried to piss him off, but I don't think I succeeded.
You know,
And he still talks to me, so I'm not. I don't think I.
I think he still talks to all of us for some reason. I don't know why. But yeah, to your point, I think that this guy is again at another level
Right.
of watchmaking.
I mean, Kari's, he's the poster boy for, artisanal independent watchmaking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's also happens to be a brilliant businessman as well. So
He manages
he's
to
unusual.
turn a profit somehow.
No, he's
Yeah,
a very,
he's
very
sharp.
great guy. Well, he qualified as an accountant before he became a
Oh, he
watchmaker.
did. Okay, well that's interesting. Well, he ran the shop out of half his house for I don't know 20 years. So
Yeah.
Oh, and now you know where he is.
hey, that's a pretty nice place he's hanging out in.
It's actually
Chapeau de Napoleon, up on the hill.
Yeah, up on the hill. I was
Very
in
cool.
Florier. I was in Florier to visit a different watch company, and so you look up, and his castle is up there. I was just waiting for a storm and to hear an organ play. It's like looking down at the whole valley. I mean, it's pretty awesome. I mean, talk about ruling the roost.
Well, you really, I mean, if you don't know what you're doing, you really probably can't have that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no.
Yeah.
But does he still have a place in was it
Motier.
Motier,
Motier.
yeah.
No, I don't
He
think.
doesn't live there? I thought he made that his house.
I mean, he was living there before, so
Isn't
maybe,
that where
but
Beauvais there?
that town?
In
Yes.
that little town.
No, that castle was Beauvais, and then Curry took it over. I thought.
No, it was a
No?
restaurant.
Oh, really?
Beauvais Castle is separate. It's
Oh,
further
I
down.
mean, some of these guys, I don't understand them. Like Halderman lives in a fucking castle,
Well, why not?
and he sells watches you can't even figure out what fucking time it is on them. So I don't know how that is.
Well, fortunately, there are people, like Mitch and other people that
Don't care what time it is.
they love to support.
Watchmaker. That's another
Now,
story.
Mitch likes his watches to
I
tell time.
they have a
We'll talk
basic
about that.
watching. Yeah.
We have covered a shit ton today, my friends. This is Mitch Katz. He is an amazing collector of horology. He's got an incredible new book called Time Eternal,
Novel.
and a mystery novel.
Yeah.
no
Yeah.
less.
Yeah.
He's got this amazing. When is the other next? There's another one on its way too.
This is the first of a series. It's called the Time series. This is about a watch movement, a novel watch movement, murder, mystery, corporate
Intrigue.
Thank you. The second book is about, again, watches. It's a series, and it's about.
Do the characters, or is that leading quote? Do they flow into the?
Yeah, all the good guys are still there. The bad guys change.
Well, probably they die.
Oh, they don't die, but they get arrested, man.
Oh,
They do go down.
They go down. Well, not all of them. Not all of them go
Well,
down.
some
And
of
I'm
them
not
go away.
thinking about bringing them back in the fourth book. So,
It's a convenient.
Yeah.
It's convenient for the writer. They get lost.
so I mean, I have a watchmaker, a detective, and all that.
Okay.
It's fun. And so the second book is going to go to the editor next week after the New Year. And
And the same jealous forces, and there's always jealous forces in such tales.
Jealous forces? No,
There's no jealous forces.
different stuff.
Different
man.
set of jealous forces.
Yeah, that's with the gray market and involving sales and Franken watches and all that.
Asperity watching.
And then the third book is about a museum heist. With watches that are stolen and mystery and murder and mayhem and all that.
Yes, you have my blessing on
Yeah,
that.
I'm 3/4 of the way done with that.
This is another book I suggest everybody get a copy of.
it's a great book.
It's Mitch's journey in the world of watch collecting. This is a great reference on where and why and how to go in watch collecting. This is one of my favorite books, by the way.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. It's the spine's not broken because I have the digital copy.
Yeah, and it's signed.
And it's signed. Hey, Tim Jackson, Independent in Time, independentintime.com. Mitch Katz, amazingly prolific watch collector and a man of amazing taste.
Love
Sorry
it,
I
man.
didn't get to Linda to come down and say hi.
Yeah.
Next time.
I'm Scott Goldman with Watch Geek Time. It's a conversation about heritage history and why we're all hooked on horology. We're going to see you next week.
Yeah, we'll be around. Yeah. Good to see you.
Good to see you.
Mitch, thank you for coming. It's a great pleasure to have you here.
Oh, it's a
Yeah,
pleasure.
you're
Always.
different. Yeah.
Fantastic.
Thanks, guys.
Enjoy the show. We'll talk to you later. Leave
Yeah.
your comments and subscribe.
Bye.